Hello, my loves. Welcome into this reading for those who have a background Pisces energy for the Pisces Solar season 2023. If you have not already watched the introduction video and want to learn more about these energies in play for the solar season, you can check that out linked in the description or popping up on YouTube. So this video is for you if you do not have your sun, moon, your rising sign, or any of the planets, including Pluto, in Pisces. Okay, let's talk a little bit deeper about what this really means for you. I like to describe this energy as with the analogy of a play. Okay, so all of the actors on the stage are the different planets. Okay, and I kind of like to think of the rising sign as like the plot. Okay, the background energies are the set, the backdrop of the story. Okay, because if you think about when you were born, different things were in the sky in different places, but just because there wasn't a character representing the archetype of Pisces in your chart doesn't mean that Pisces wasn't in the sky when you were born. It was still in the background. It just wasn't it being emphasized at the moment with a particular planet. Now, something else to say here is you may have an asteroid, you may have a node, you may have what are the other things you could have? Those are the two main ones, asteroids and nodes in Pisces. Okay. If I try to cover all of the different things that you could have in Pisces, the other thing is you might have a Venus star point in Pisces, which is a whole different cosmology. It has 5 points to it. So you may have some Pisces energy that's more significant than just the background energies that we're talking about here. But for the sake of my readings, I already am doing, an introduction and then 12 readings. It would just be too long to try to cover all of those. I myself am a background Pisces, according to my system, although my North Node is in Pisces. So there are some tarot readers, or there are some astrology readers, that only focus on the North Node. They think it's so important that that's the only thing they talk about, right? So I'm not saying that there may not be some sort of influential Pisces energy in your life, but for the sake of these readings, the simplicity of these readings, and moving forward with this energy and getting guidance for you, it's still going to be guidance for you, even if you do have other significant Pisces energy in your chart. Another thing to mention is there's a house that Pisces rules, the 12th house. So any planets in your 12th house will also have a Piscean energy to them. Even if you have none of the planets in Pisces, none of that other stuff in Pisces, and you don't have any planets in the 12th house, well, guess what? Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So you have to have Neptune somewhere. So you still have Piscean energy through the planet of Neptune represented in your chart. So we all have all of these energies. That was one of the amazing things that really got me to dive in deeper into talking about astrology, using astrology, was when I realized that our sun sign is like the breadcrumb of this astrological cake, and that we are bits and pieces of it all, which makes so much sense. That's what the spiritual traditions are telling us. We're all the same thing, right? Mixed up in different ways and unique geometries and expressions. And it's amazing to learn how all of these different archetypes really express themselves through us. And of course, it changes as we move through our journey of life. So enough preaching on that. We're going to go to the cards to ask, how can we activate our intuition in the background, our background intuition, our intuitive, like our sense of intuition just helping us in everyday moments, okay? How can we activate our intuition to be there in the background running all the time? We're going to get guidance from the traditional tarot, Rider Waite. So if you haven't already, close your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and opened your heart to receive the guidance most aligned for you at this time. I invite you to do that now. Pause the video if you need more time. There's cards popping out everywhere and I cannot tell. Oh my gosh, you guys. All right, you guys show me a card clearly. Okay. Ended up in my hand all by itself. So it's that card. Okay. Remember, you can always pause the reading at any time to write down any understanding that you have for yourself. We are working with Pisces, which is the intuitive understanding, the inner knowing. And my guidance is always trying to get you back to that wise instinctive knowing within. So pause the video at any time that you want to journal about the imagery and the messages that are coming through for you. This is the Three of Pentacles. We know it's the 3 because it has that Roman numeral 3 there at the top. And the item that shows up 3 times in this card is the pentacle, the pentagram in a circle. And so the energy of this card is a teacher talking to some students. You can see that person's on a bench. It looks like they may have a bell. They're kind of like ringing a proclamation and giving a speech. Okay, so how does this relate to the intuition? Give me a second here, guys. These intuitive understandings for these readings have come slower than normal, which makes sense because the intuition's kind of works like that. You got to tap into it to hear it. Okay. So I got a couple different things coming through here. The first thing is that your intuition is telling me that it is on the bench ringing the bell. Okay? That your intuition is giving you proclamations. And it really wanted to use that word. And you're the student. You know, you're learning from this teacher. You're willing pupil. Okay? Willing to learn and hear what your intuition has to share with you. It's in the background all the time ringing this bell, okay? It wants you to know that it's like always, you can think of like this person like lives their life on this bench with this bell. Like they sleep on that bench. They ring the bell all day long and all night long, and they are just ready to give their advice and guidance whenever the pupil shows up. Okay, the pupil. So our intuition wants us to know that it's this teacher. It's on the bench waiting for us to tap in like I was doing to get the guidance from this card at any time. So it's there all the time, talking all the time when we check in with it. So it's a background energy and influence that we have to open up to receiving, okay? So my advice coming through for this is to really open yourself to feel and hear and tap into this energy when you're not really doing anything else. Right? It feels like these people are just walking down the street and they're just like, oh, what does this person have to say? So the first image that came to my mind was like a stoplight. Okay? So if you're at the stoplight, you got nothing to do but wait. Check in with your intuition. Listen for that bell ringing. Let yourself hear what your intuition wants to tell you in that moment. And intuition, intuit, means inner knowing. Tuit means to know. Okay? So what does your inner knowing know about that moment? Know about your feelings. Know about anything it wants to share. Okay? Using those dull, mundane moments like when you're going to the bathroom or when you're in the shower. Even like after you're done doing all the shower things, right before you turn off the water, give yourself a moment. Check in with your intuition. What is it saying in that moment? Going for a walk. Check in with your intuition on your walk. Seeing what it's saying then. Right before you go to sleep. Checking with your intuition, okay? So this is what I'm being guided to. Don't try to activate it like when you're in the middle of like an important task or doing something and your mind's focused on other things. But check in as often as you can when you're not really doing anywhere else. Like these people wouldn't have been able to stop and listen if they had somewhere else to be. That kind of energy. The other thing is that you may be called to bring this intuition that you have running in the background all the time to share it. What do you intuitively know? The intuition that's coming through for you this solar season, you might actually need to get up and talk about it. Okay? And through sharing it, it will help you activate it. Okay? Sharing your own intuitive understandings. In order to share something, in order to teach something, you got to learn more about it. I learned about astrology by developing this card reading series based on astrology, which forced me to learn about it. Okay, so I had to deepen and activate my understanding about astrology through choosing to offer it. Okay, so there may be some sort of activation with your intuition here as you devote to talking about your intuition, talking about how you tap into your intuition, talking about what your intuition is guiding you to. Okay, I'm right here with you, right here in this journey. and really loving it. Like for me, I would just say that I'm learning already through these readings that there is this power that I have to slow down and tap in and really get more guidance than I receive just by trying to talk right away. Because sometimes I'm like, I don't want to make them wait for me to get the answer. But the answers that have been coming through when I slow down and tap in are way more powerful. So that's something that I could share with you about my own intuitive process. Okay? Hope that makes sense. Let me know how this resonates. Let me know if you have questions. And as always, namaste. The universal light within me salutes and honors that universal light within you. Namaste.